Go.
When I say Samoa, what do you think of? Because for the longest time, I actually didn't know that Samoa was a country. When I thought of Samoa, I just thought of the best Girl Scout cookie and the wrestler with the last name of Joe. And it wasn't actually until recently, watching TV, that I even discovered Samoa's existence. And yes, I know how sad that is, but it wasn't all for naught because that little nugget of information was not taken lightly. I then ended up doing several days worth of research before I even knew this speech existed. And that's when I decided to learn all I could about this small island nation. And to be honest with you, I learned way more than I thought I would. There's actually way too much information to cover in this one speech. There's just a lot of information that you wouldn't think there would be about such a small country. And so I decided to narrow it down to three topics, and that is the geography, the government, and the religious practices of the Samoan people. And logically, if you're going to talk about a country, it's best to talk about where it's located. And Samoa is located in the southern Pacific Ocean, and the Samoan archipelago is made up of 15 islands, which is divided into two different countries, American Samoa, or Eastern Samoa, and Western Samoa, or just regular Samoa. Eastern Samoa's capital is Pago Pago on the island of Tutuila. Western Samoa's capital is Apia on the island of Apulo. Western Samoa has 9 islands, Eastern Samoa has 6. Now, Samoa is actually made up of mostly volcanic islands, or coral atolls, but mostly volcanic islands. And Samoa actually still has one volcano left that is erupting still, but it has 8 total. The one that's still erupting is Velulu'u, I guess you would say. And because of all the volcanic ash on Samoa's soil, it actually has very nutrient-rich soil and can support a lot of plant and animal life. And that's why it's a very lush, tropical location. The climate of Samoa is usually actually very temperate despite being a tropical location. It usually doesn't actually get below 73 and usually doesn't get above 86 degrees, which is rather rare for a tropical island. The government of Samoa is roughly based off the Republican system of checks and balances, and is very similar to ours in the United States. It's built into 3 different sections: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judiciary branch of government. And the executive branch is, and this is a quote, comprised of the head of state and the executive government, of which the prime minister is head, supported by cabinet members. And that's a quote from the Samoan government website. So the job of the executive branch of government is to control the day-to-day operations and to enforce the law. And fun fact, the head of state is actually a part of both the legislative and executive branches of the government, and is sort of a bridge between the two. And another quote here: the legislative branch is Parliament, comprised of the head of state and the legislative assembly, also the Samoan government website. And what the legislative assembly does is it passes bills into law, which are then approved of by the head of state in conjunction with the executive branch of government. The third branch of government is the judiciary branch, and it is headed by the Chief Justice, who is the guy who decides what the laws mean. He interprets the laws passed by the other 2 branches, and he is the main guardian of the Samoan Constitution. There's one institution in Samoa that is almost more powerful than the government itself, and that is the Samoan religious system. It is thought that almost 98% of Samoans believe in a Western religion. And the motto of Samoa itself is Samoa is founded on God. As you can see here, only 1.2% of Samoans, as of 2015, which is the latest data chart I could find, actually say they don't believe in a religion at all. And because of that, the majority of Samoans have a huge part of their lives dedicated to religion. Like, an incredible amount of their time is invested in religious services, and actually a large portion of their income actually goes towards contributing to their church of choice. And religion itself is not actually a bad thing, but according to the article Churches and the Economy of Samoa, it might be detrimental to the nation itself. Ooh. Cash, labor, and goods that parishioners give to their pastors and to the churches they serve are not available for investment in small businesses or agricultural development, or for postponed investments such as education and training. And because of that, you find that Samoa is a much poorer country because of religious upbringings. And either way, religion is also sort of linked to the corruption in the Samoan government, because you'll find that higher up Samoan government officials are also higher up Samoan church officials, and they have higher clergy positions in the church as well. Nonetheless, church is a very important part of Samoan life. And I could probably talk a lot more if I had like 20 more minutes and a much better pronunciation of Samoan, but I don't. But I think that I've painted a pretty good picture by outlining the geography, the government, and the religious beliefs of Samoan. And I hope you guys learned something interesting. I know that I enjoyed doing the research for this topic. Here's my sources.